Week 1 with just $50 a week for groceries surprisingly went pretty well. But can I keep it up for another week? Prices, cravings, and unexpected challenges could throw literally everything off this week. Will I stay on budget or will I finally crack? Keep watching and let's find out. Okay guys, we're back for week 2. If you guys watched my previous video, you guys would have seen me make breakfasts and snacks for this week's meal prep. So for today's video, I'm gonna be showing you everything I eat for the week. That's including breakfasts, lunch, dinners, and snacks. I'm also gonna be meal prepping too, some lunches as well. So come hang out with us as we do a lot of cooking, a lot of eating. If you guys watched my grocery haul and shopping video for this week's meal plan, I only spent $121 this week on groceries. That's way below my $200 weekly budget. So far this week, I was actually able to save money on groceries, and I'm gonna roll that money over into next week, just in case I might need to restock on some big items such as meat, rice, beans, or any oats. So today is Monday. So far what we've eaten is we ate the little mini McGriddle muffins. My kids love them. They ate them for breakfast. They had them with a sliced apple and they dipped them in some syrup. For snacks so far today, they had the chocolate chip muffins, string cheese, Colby Jack cheese, and some granola and yogurt or Greek yogurt. And so far they have loved everything. For lunches today, we had bean burritos. So delicious. Today though, I'm gonna be meal prepping some enchiladas for tomorrow's lunches and for the rest of the week. And then we also will have bean burritos too for lunches as well. So let's get started on making these enchiladas. Currently right now for dinner, we're gonna eat cheeseburgers and french fries. So I have the french fries cooking in the oven. While I'm prepping these enchiladas, I'm also gonna be cooking up some hamburger patties too for dinner. So the enchiladas are not for dinner tonight. They're for lunches. My husband, he's probably gonna have a couple of them today or tonight before we eat them for lunch tomorrow. So of course he has to do a taste test. But let's get started on meal prepping and cooking this dinner. Okay, so for the enchiladas, I have a whole rotisserie chicken that my husband shredded up for me. In my previous week's worth of meals video, we had a rotisserie chicken at the end of the week that we didn't use. So we ended up cooking it up and we're gonna use it this week for this week's meal plan. Just so you guys know, these are not gonna be authentic enchiladas, but they still taste delicious and they're so incredibly easy to make. So we have our chicken. At the grocery store this week, I purchased this green enchilada sauce. I also have a can of the red sauce as well, which I might pull out. With my green enchiladas, I love eating them with corn. And then I still have that bag of cheese from like 2 weeks ago. We're gonna use that up. Then, don't mind my dirty oven, but I have the french fries cooking and then I need to start cooking the hamburger patties for the dinner. So I'm gonna be trying to multitask. Okay, so for convenience purposes, I'm gonna be cooking the hamburger patties on my little inside griddle. I do have a Blackstone. Once this weather starts to clear up, I will be using that a lot more. I also forgot to mention I'm gonna be using corn tortillas for this recipe. We're just going to make like a casserole style. So this will be like a more healthier version of our enchiladas. I usually just do a layer of the enchilada sauce and then I do a layer of tortillas. Do another little drizzle over top. Then I just do the chicken. And now I can be generous with this chicken or you can put less. You can also add beans or a different type of meat. These are so versatile. So these are not gonna be the prettiest enchiladas and you'll see at the very end. But just because they don't look pretty, they still taste really good. And you can put some more enchilada sauce over the top. And again, these are not authentic in any way, but they taste delicious, and that's all that matters. All right, I think I'm gonna do one top layer. And this top layer, I'm not gonna do any meat on it. I'm just gonna do the sauce, the cheese, and some corn. All right, so I can put these in the oven once I take out the french fries. It is now time to flip my burgers. Just pepper it, salt it, garlic powder, pretty much all we use, keeping it simple. All right, so now we're just waiting for these hamburger patties to finish. These french fries are almost done. Once those are done, I'll put the enchiladas in there for them to start cooking. Okay, so it's definitely not the prettiest dinner, but it's pretty tasty. One of my favorite things to do. I like to keep it simple. I just like cheese, lettuce, and then some Thousand Island dressing. Kind of gives me Big Mac vibes. All right, I'm gonna grub on this. The enchiladas are cooking in the oven. They should be done in about 15 minutes. Okay, so I just finished my cheeseburger. It was so freaking good. I ended up using all the chicken and I meal prepped red enchiladas. The green ones are about ready to be pulled out. I'm gonna let them get a little bit more crispy on top. So lunches are prepped. Dinner has been made. That's it for tonight for food, but I'll see you guys tomorrow with tomorrow's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'll see you then. All right, so it is now Tuesday. My hair is looking pretty crazy, but another successful day of eating our home-cooked meals on the budget. But for dinner tonight, we're gonna do this one of the same meals that we did last week. I'll have that previous video linked up above for you guys and down in the description. Currently, I'm having the husband do the stirring because I have joined the club, the granny club of having to wear a brace for my arm.
Oh, lady.
And we'll see if it helps. And I have Eric
I do all the work now.
cooking tonight. Or, well, basically just the stirring, and then he just does what I tell him to do.
That's
right?
normal.
See, there's no way I could have been able to do that without wanting to cry.
Staying strong. I've been working out. Okay.
That's good. Look at you. Proud of you.
Proud of me.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't hear that very often.
The rice appears to be done. We have the teriyaki pork with the veggies over some rice with a little bit more of the teriyaki sauce on top. So I'm gonna start getting everyone's plate ready and then we'll eat dinner. And then Jackson, he still has one more homework assignment to do tonight. So after that, they'll go to bed and that'll be it for tonight. So unfortunately, for the remaining of the week, my camera was on slow mode and recorded absolutely no audio. So I'm just gonna voice over basically what we had for the remaining of the week. Now, the remaining of the week, the food was so good, guys, so keep watching. It was so good. Okay, so for pretty much for the remaining of the week, my kids still enjoyed the waffles. They really love the waffles with peanut butter and with strawberries or bananas on the side. The kids also really loved those breakfast mini muffins that we made. Those little mini muffins, my kids and my husband love them. We officially finished them today, which is like a week and a half after this footage was filmed. And then for lunches for the remaining of the week, we loved the enchiladas. We had the green and the red enchiladas, and we also used the beans to make burritos as well, and that's what we ate pretty much for the remaining of the week for lunches. For Wednesday, we ended up making some crispy chicken drumsticks. Now, this was my first time making these with drumsticks. Typically, I make them with tenderloins, and this is actually my first time making them for my kids. And we ended up all really enjoying this meal. We'll definitely be making this meal again, and it was so affordable, very minimal ingredients. All we had to use was the seasoned breadcrumbs, some eggs, a little bit of milk, and black pepper. It was very simple to make. All I had to do was take the chicken and dip it in the egg mixture and then dip it into the breadcrumbs and then bake it. You could also fry these as well if you would like. Personally, I wanted to avoid all that oil, so I just baked them in the oven, and I actually filleted the chicken to kind of help it cook faster because I really wanted it to be not too juicy, so I wanted it to be a little bit crispy and cook a little bit faster as well. It would have been really nice though if I had some Parmesan cheese. I think that would have helped the batter stick to the chicken a little bit more and make it a little bit more crispy. Now for the sides, I ended up using some pre-made mashed potatoes. All I had to do was just add water to those. I found those in my pantry. And then I also used the broccoli that I purchased from my last grocery haul and just steamed that up. And then this dinner was delicious. Now for Thursday, we used the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we ended up using those nacho cheese shells. I wasn't planning on using those this week. I wanted those just as like a extra option. But by this time in the week, I was really tired and really exhausted. So I just wanted to go for something simple and easy. So I just cooked up the chicken, added some taco seasoning to the chicken, diced it up, came out so juicy and so delicious. I also diced up some lettuce, and we had some leftover sour cream from last week, so we ended up using that as well. And typically I have leftovers of this chicken whenever I cook with this amount of chicken, and we loaded those tacos up. Those tacos were packed full of protein, so we had absolutely no leftovers. We ate everything for that dinner. Now for Friday, some of the snacks that my kids finally tapped into was the Uncrustables that I made. They seriously love those things. They take them out of the freezer, let them sit for like 5 minutes, and they're good to go. Totally recommend making those if you are in a time pinch, and you don't have time to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I know they're very quick to make, but it's very simple for your kid just to take it out and let it sit out for 5 to 10 minutes before they enjoy it. Or you can pack it in their lunches as well, and by the time they go to lunch, it'll be ready to eat. For this night's dinner, I used up that ground beef that I had, and I fried up some tortillas, and we ended up making tostadas with also the leftover beans as well. So this dinner was another favorite of ours. We make this dinner quite often because it's so simple and easy and very affordable as well. You can honestly do without the ground beef and just do it with beans and cheese, some lettuce on top, and it's a really good satiating meal, and you can still eat on a budget. This meal is probably one of the most affordable meals you can make. So for Saturday, for lunch, we ended up having some cheeseburgers because we still had some buns left over from the beginning of the week. And then I found a bag of frozen fish sticks at the bottom of my freezer, and we just finished that bag off. And then we also had a bag of leftover fries as well, so we just cooked the rest of those. I'm doing really good at clearing out my freezer, and we're almost completely out of all of like the pre-made processed kind of food items, because my goal is to eventually get all that stuff out of my freezer and just have home cooked meals. And then for dinner, we just had some of that rotisserie chicken. I don't think I filmed any of us eating it, but we enjoyed a rotisserie made in the crock pot. It was so good and so yummy. And then finally, my husband and we made a smoothie bowl with some of that yogurt that he requested at the beginning of the week. We used that big container of yogurt and some fruit that we had in our deep freezer. Again, we're doing a great job clearing out our deep freezer. And we just added some granola and bananas on top, and oh my God, it was so good. Gave me a brain freeze, but it was so delicious. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to check out the video up above or down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.